Hey y'all, welcome to My Way Mysteries, the channel that brings you multi-dimensional content, which means that the readings are from a broad and expanded point of view and that they're not for a specific time, but should resonate with you guys whenever you come across them. So, ever since Mother's Day, this theme, the mother, it keeps coming up, which makes sense. I mean, we're on My Way Mysteries. So the entities I'm going to tell you about today, I'm going to introduce you guys to a group of entities that I've been close to for about maybe 5 years now. Something like that. No, it's more than that. It's more than that. Yeah, it was before I left my job. Okay, no, it was before I left my job. I actually know them as the mothers. When I first got introduced to them, they showed me that they are from behind the moon. That's how they described themselves. But over the years, they've described more and more and more about themselves. Remember, I told you guys about the Sun Kings? These guys are the mothers of the Sun Kings. That's why, if you remember in the Sun King reading, I was like, when you meet the Sun Kings, the first thing they're going to say to you is how they are the best you've ever met. But if you've ever met the mothers, remember how these guys said to me, we're the best you'll ever meet. And I was like, no. The reason I said no is because I already know the mothers. And I know that, the mothers are yibe baphethe. So ngithi mangisho kanjalo vele abazange basangiphikisa laba bavele bayithulela, because I think at that moment then they connected with oh shit, she knows, okay, cool, never mind, cool, let's just go on type of vibe. But yes, the first time they described themselves to me, they said they were from behind the moon. You know that whole thing about how the moon only shows you one side and the other side of the moon, we basically don't know what's going on there. Another way they showed themselves to me, well, okay, in this dream, it was that light, the moon. You know that light, the moon, I don't know how to describe it. Moonlight. It was like that in the dream. Basically the whole light was like that, and then there were other women who were dressed in white, and then when the door opened, Gwangena, this cow, in the thumbnail, this cow with the horns, right? And basically I didn't have to be told. No one spoke in the stream, but we were all communicating telepathically, even with this being that was representing itself as a cow. So, yeah. Now, when it was first communicated to me that I would do a reading like this, I was a bit nervous because these are literally the most secretive, entities I've ever come across. It's not that I don't know what to say, it's that I've never had to put into words the things that we do, the things that we share, the things that they teach me. It's never in words. I don't know how to explain it, you see. So I was kind of okay, I wonder because wow, you are the most secretive. And then as I was putting on the video, I realized when I don't know how to communicate something, I always tell a personal story that can help you understand or help you relate, if you do relate to what I'm saying. So that's exactly what I'm going to do today. And then close to the end of the video, I'll pull some tarot cards just to relay a message as to what this is about, or how it relates to you again. Okay, so from memory, I could have connected with them before, but for me personally, in terms of consciously, let me say that consciously, the first time I'm aware of coming across these entities was actually during a shroom trip. Now, if you don't know anything about plant medicine at all, one of the plants that are used in what's called, when people talk about plant medicine, they're talking about ayahuasca, peyote, and mushrooms. And sometimes cannabis also can be included in there. So I would include cannabis in there. But obviously, not like that thing where you're smoking cannabis 3 times a day. Unless you're microdosing. I mean, you know what, whatever, to each their own, right? Um, but yeah. Um, so if you don't know about the whole psilocybin thing, basically, you know how you get mushrooms, like the mushrooms you cook in your home and whatever? You get mushrooms um that have an element called psilocybin. And psilocybin basically when ingested does this thing where it affects the neurons in your mind. How it affects them is that the way in which you react to certain situations is based on the pathways of the how your neurons are connected in your mind. So, like, you'll notice that you basically have more or less the same reaction every time a specific thing happens. And that's because that is a pathway. It's kind of like if you walk a certain way every single day, a pathway starts to form. You know, it's like hiking trails, basically. They're there because people walked there all the time. So now the grass doesn't grow in that area. It forms a pathway where people can walk. That's basically how your mind also works in relation to the actions in your life, the emotions you feel, and the thoughts that you have. That's why I will say thought patterns or emotional patterns. That's caused by certain neurotic pathways. And what psilocybin does is that whereas a pathway has been formed where you react like this every time something happens, it disconnects that pathway and then connects it to another neuron. So ultimately, it changes you. You become a different person because it changes the way in which you think about something. It changes the way in which you respond to certain things and so forth. And in so doing that, it expands your consciousness. I also just want to mention here that it is impossible to be addicted to psilocybin, not like how they tell you with cannabis. You know how they tell you you can't be addicted to cannabis? That's bullshit. You can definitely be addicted to cannabis. Like, listen, yellow sheen and tell me you can't be addicted to cannabis. Lies. But I promise you, you cannot be addicted to psilocybin. It's literally a healing plant. That's what it's supposed to be. Now, when I first ingested this, I wasn't going at it like that. I was honestly going at it from like a party drug type of thing. Like, you know, I was just trying to trip type of thing. This was like what, 8, 9 years ago or something. I was just trying to like go on a trip, and like the person that I first tried to get the mushrooms from actually was like, why? And I was like, no, because I hear it's a good trip. And wangche la yena, like they immediately told me, they were like, nah, B, this is a healing plant. This is like a plant that's supposed to help you with certain things like within your inner world and so forth. And I was like, oh, okay, whatever. And then he basically refused to like get them for me or whatever, but nothing stops your girl from getting what she wants. So I later on like did actually get my hands on some. And then like the first time I took them, so it also depends on the quantity that you take. I took a gram the first time that I took them because I was told like that's, you know, if you want to, I don't know, feel anything, that's how you should go. And I took a gram, and like it was an interesting experience. I had never felt so much fear in like my whole life type of thing, because also I didn't yet understand a lot about myself. I didn't know that I was like empathic. I didn't know that I had traces of like clairvoyance or clairaudience. And what that did is that it made me even more sensitive. So it amplified my claircognizance, my clairvoyance at a time when I wasn't even aware of those aspects of myself. And so it was very scary. Like, it was so scary. Mind you, this was not a bad trip. I did not have a bad trip. How psilocybin works is that it works in cycles. Like, you get these lows, lows, lows. It's about an 8-hour effect. You go through these lows, 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 and then you go through these like euphoric, happy, like high. Like, you get so happy, you cry. And in the lows, I would be so afraid I would need to throw up, like, type of thing. And also, like, you should definitely, if you are going to engage in something like this, like, I would advise you to have someone there who maybe isn't going on the trip, just so that, like, you can touch base. I guess another thing, I didn't know this video was going to be like this, but also it's good to, if you're feeling scared, physical contact, to touch someone. I don't know why, but that completely helps. But yeah, anyways, so also the reason why I'm talking about the psilocybin is because psilocybin is one of the physical representations of the mothers here on this dimension. It's literally them in a plant. That's basically what it is. So that's why I'm also mentioning this. So yeah, basically my first experience was like that, and from that first experience I realized, like, no, it's like, because it was intense in that way. And yet it wasn't an experience where I'm like, I'm never doing this again. That's another thing. Psilocybin isn't like that. It doesn't feel dangerous. You don't feel dangerous when you're doing that. It's not like that. Like I said, it's a healing thing. It's just that, like, abantu bayayiphaphela, and the way that it's being marketed, like, you're not told the truth about how this should be something where you're in, like, a group with a facilitator and someone that knows what they're doing, so that they can help you through the trip. Because things that come up are things like childhood traumas and things like that, like, where to be solved, not just to come up and scare you, but it's coming up in order to be solved, in order to be dissolved. So, okay, cool. That was the first time. But anyways, the second time I ended up taking this, I was more aware. I actually did my research this time. I found out what it actually does to you and so forth, and then decided, okay, I was going to do this. And this time I was actually in a controlled environment. Like, yo, I literally did the research and did good by myself, type of thing, right? So yeah, did the thing. And then what happened was, I was with another person, and at some point, firstly, I started to feel like the water inside me. Like, it was crazy. I was relating to femininity, not just in aesthetic or the idea of femininity, but the representation of it within me, type of thing. Like, I could feel the warmth of the water that's inside me. And it's almost as if the water inside me started to speak, started to tell me certain things about my lineage beyond this realm, beyond my bloodline here. And then I wanted to take a walk, because it was getting, like, overwhelming, type of thing. So we took a walk with my friend, and the minute I got outside of, like, a giardini, like, of my home, yo, the plants, the trees, it's as if, like, I started to connect with them, like, in a weird way. Like, I don't know, just this oneness with the plants and the trees specifically. I don't want to be corny and be like, I felt oneness with nature. It wasn't really like that. It was specifically the trees and the plants. Like, till today, that hasn't stopped. Like, till today, now if I take a walk, if I take a hike, it's as if I can speak to the plants and the trees. Like, it's, yeah, I don't know what portal, what highway I opened that day, but it has never closed. And then I remember my friend kept wanting to speak, because you get this, like, anxiety thing if you're not used to the feeling. And I remember saying to him, I know you're afraid, and that's why you're talking so much, because you want to decrease your fear. But it's just a threshold. I need you to keep quiet so that I can hear what this frequency is saying. Like, I need you to keep quiet. And he was able to do that for me, thank God. And like, listen, wow. So now on our way back, like after the walk, there was this specific plant. I'll try and find it and post a picture for you guys. When we were leaving, then this plant, I don't know, it like grabbed my attention, but it was a place of, it was like, it was speaking to a darker place within me that I kind of wasn't ready to like unfold the stuff within there, type of thing. But then when we came back, yo, Shem, it did not leave me alone. Like, all of a sudden, this plant is like, it's not really the plant. I don't know how to say it. I don't know. But like, the communication was happening through the plant. And to those of you that are thinking, bitch, you were just high, like, it's whatever. Like, it's cool. I don't even have time to, like, I'm not here to convince you guys of anything. Like, you resonate or you don't. If you don't, bye. So basically, I'm starting to get very emotional and I'm wanting to cry. And my friend is worried because they're thinking that I'm actually having like a bad trip. Because I'm like, here are the keys. Like, we're basically by my house already. I'm like, here are the keys. And it's the kind of neighborhood where there's lots of plants, there's lots of trees. Like, people, even like the gardens extend to the outside, like, type of thing. So it's completely normal. Like, there was like plants everywhere, fam. Flowers, like bushes, type of vibe. So now I'm getting emotional because, like, yo, it's the message that was getting relayed to me. It was basically, I didn't even know I had a mother wound up until that moment. And it was like, it was relaying this knowledge of that wound within me and making me aware of it. And it was saying, like, pour it out. Like, stop keeping it in so much. Like, you keep it in and you think that's gonna help you. You think that's gonna solve. That's not how you solve things. Like, pour it out. All those feelings that you have about this, be it abandonment feelings, be it, I don't know, neglect, feeling underappreciated, feeling unloved, pour it out. And now I start actually crying. We're in the middle of the street, y'all. But it was during the week. It was like January. You know, people have started going back to work, but I was still on leave. So yeah, and now I'm telling my friend, just go back inside. And they're like, no, it's okay, let's go back. Because they're thinking I'm having a bad trip. And I'm like, no, I'm okay. I just need some time alone. So they go back inside and I literally go and I kneel in front of this neighbor's plants. And yeah, like, basically the message was like, I'm gonna help you with this. I'm gonna help you. The visions I was getting is when, like, it was kind of like saying, put it in the water, like, let the water wash it like down. That's what water is for. That's what running water is for. It's to wash away all these, like, things that have happened that you can't really explain, but you've experienced, and they don't define who you are, but they define who you are. You get to decide in what way they define you. And yeah, that was the first time that I ever interacted with the mothers. A month after that, I left my job. I remember the same friend kept saying, bruh, you took shrooms and left your job. What the fuck? Like, it was a whole private joke and whatever. But yeah, shrooms are not going to make you leave your job. Relax, relax. It's a personal experience. So yeah. That was the first time. And then throughout my self-initiation period, which was also about 7 years, at this point, I know people are like, bitch, how old are you? What the fuck? I'm 1,000,000 years old, okay? So, and then, no, literally. Yeah, throughout that self-initiation, like, I don't know how to explain what these like beings do. They do exactly what that psilocybin does. They help recreate you anew. As soon as the version of you that you are working with is no longer valid, as soon as that version of you becomes obsolete and you no longer need it, they take it. I can't explain that further than what I'm saying, okay? They take it and allow you to birth a new version of yourself. They help you create a new version of yourself, and then they help you embody it. That's what I mean by the birthing. They help you embody, because I don't know, people just feel like you just become a new person, like a new version of yourself, but that's not how it works. Anyways, they were also in charge for introducing me to the entities that I met along the way, including the Sun Kings. Njengoba saba ex ngathi, I don't know, Yibo isn't just a game, which they are, but I mean, like, come on, I've met the mothers, dog. But I know that every time I would feel, because it's happened maybe twice to me in the last 7 years, where like I would get really, really sick, like almost like point of death sick, and then obviously not die, but then you're not the same person you were before. And every time afterwards, it's them that I reference. Like, I have that feeling around me. I know what it's like to be around them. So I know, Guti, oh shit, I come from you guys, and you guys did this type of thing. So yeah, well, that's my story. Let me do a reading for you guys. What else can I tell you? Behind the moon, the cow, the mothers. And it's not particularly, I don't want to lie to you, I've never, like, it's not that I've seen them as women type of thing. It's just that they refer to themselves as the mothers. Like, because, yeah, I don't know how to explain it. It's like, it's not like ngibone abantu besifazane, like, or ngibone abantu besilisa and whatever. It's not like I saw men or saw women or whatever. It's not that. That's not how you feel. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but they refer to themselves as the mothers. And every time I'm around them or have that feeling of them, there's always that moonlight type of light. That's the light that's always around them. So how you guys may be experiencing this, like I said, I've mentioned this before. If you're feeling, if all of a sudden, let's say you quit drinking, or all of a sudden you quit smoking, or all of a sudden, I don't know, you just feel like it's still you, but you have these new habits, or yeah, have you guys heard of walk-ins? Like where, like, almost like calibrating a whole new spirit in your body, where things that you used to do before, all of a sudden, like, it's not you. Utoluguti, you've been eating something this whole time, but all of a sudden now when you eat it, you feel allergic. Like, it doesn't go with you, and you're like, what the fuck, I've been eating this for years, like, what's going on? Or something that you never used to eat before, and all of a sudden, like, you want it, you crave it even. It's like, what the hell? Like, you used to love makeup and whatever, and all of a sudden now you're not really into it. Like, you're not really into it, and you're making these excuses about, no, I'm just like, because you don't know how to explain to yourself like what's going on. Or you could never draw, and oh my god, that happened to this guy I was dating. Like, after his psilocybin trip, all of a sudden he could like paint like images, like, you know, like Picasso type of shit, like art. He could paint like an artist type of thing. So that could be happening to you, where all of a sudden, like, I don't know, you're good at doing your taxes and you could never do that before. all of a sudden you know how to change the plugs in the house, you know how to be handy, and you never used to be like that. Because the point is not that you guys should go on a psilocybin trip or like go get some magic mushrooms. I'm trying to explain how these entities affect you. Like, I got to interact with them through the plant and through like the veil, but with you guys, maybe your interaction will just be through the veil, and I'm just telling you what it's gonna feel like. As about seeing me too, are there's things that only your heart knows. There's things that your mind cannot explain because the mind is very third dimensional. Oh, then there's that. Yes, your heart is almost like the seat. I know how they put your third eye here, and we always talk about our third eye as something as here. And these guys are telling me that your third eye is here. Your third eye is your heart. A lot of you are in your mind so much, and that's the place where you keep telling yourself how did I do that right? Did I say that correctly? Oh my God, should I have replied like that? Should I have like you? That's the place where you guys be overthinking every single action, every single communication, every single thing that you're doing. It's the seat of your self-doubt, and a lot of you keep feeding yourselves that. And what you don't also understand is that the way in which you speak to yourself is the way in which you speak to entities. It's the way in which you speak to those behind the veil. And I think a lot of you don't understand that how you speak to yourself represents how you speak to non-dense beings. And a lot of you have doubt in your mind. That's how you speak to yourself. You're always worried if, did you say the right thing? Did you do the right thing? You're always thinking about how, if only I hadn't said it like that, if only I didn't do it like that. And basically, that diminishes your relationship or your connection to the outer world. That eats at your relationship, at your communication with the divine, because it's a reflection. You're always in doubt. And your heart space is a space that is an observer space. That's what's nice about your heart space, is that it doesn't sit there thinking shit. It just observes. It's the witness. And a lot of you don't realize that that's the space where the magic happens. That's the space where you're able to process experiences like the one that I just told you. I'm able to be aware of such experiences when they're happening to me because I am mostly in an observer state. Maybe you guys might be thinking I'm the way I am because I be doing a lot. I don't do much. Awareness changes a lot. Awareness is a power in itself. The heart space is a space of awareness. Heart space is a space of non-duality. Non-duality is a space of awareness. It's the space of the witness. And that's mostly what I do. Yes, we are doing, but we're doing in accordance to us being witnesses of what's happening. And a lot of people can't really take that because of the mind, because of how it keeps telling you, you shouldn't have done that. Why did you say that? Like, look at what you did now. And it's interesting how even those thoughts, like, it's not like you're the one generating them, like they're being like making up the thoughts. They're happening. The only thing that I'm saying to you to do, watch them. Just watch the thoughts. Watch them. And the more you're in this observer seat, you will watch them change. Because I need to now, you're not feeding them, you're not making them fat. and telling them, oh my God, you're right, it is me. Why did I say that? Why did I say that? Like, uyawonda uyaphela inywele ziyawa ngoba you're busy on some, oh my God, I just can't do anything right. Why do I keep fucking up? Chill. Who says you're fucking up? Your mind. It's because you're feeding it energy. Sit in your heart and just observe. A lot of you are moving from a seat of, I don't know what kind of seat you're moving from, but you're moving into a seat of receiving. You've got the 10 of water, you've got the 4 of earth, and you've got the 3 of fire. Y'all are moving into a state of receiving. This might seem completely unrelated to what I was talking about before, but that's what the tarot was saying. You're moving into a state of receiving, and whatever it is you're receiving is also giving you emotional fulfillment. I'm getting, oh, okay. Also, I guess to what I was speaking about, if you do have like some kind of a wound that you have taken time to process and stuff like that, you're moving away from that. Like, it's kind of coming to an end. You are dissolving all of those issues. And okay, some of you had a wound that was convincing you that you don't deserve, and you were also in your mind about that, about not being deserving of something. And you're moving into a state where you understand that you are deserving. With this 10 of Cups, I would say particularly of love. You are deserving of love. You are deserving of nurture. You are deserving of understanding. And a lot of you are about to be treated the way in which you treat others, because I'm getting you guys are nurturers, because you've always been connected to these entities that I'm calling the mothers. It's just that they are the most secretive. So in terms of being able to see behind the veil, they would be the hardest to see or perceive, type of thing. But you are able to perceive them through your own actions, the way in which you love, the way in which you give, the way in which everything, the way in which you nurture, the way in which you comfort. You're about to, all of that is about to be mirrored back to you. You're about to receive all of that, all of that good stuff that is going to make you whole. I didn't expect that last part. Yeah. You've got the Queen of Fire. Like, whatever it is that you're about to receive, it's going to complete you. Yes, I recently learned Uguti, like when you're born, it's not like you are completely here, like from whatever dimension that you come from, whatever world you come from, it doesn't all come through the moment you're born. It actually comes in waves throughout your life. Who you are keeps coming through different stargates, through different portals. Some portals are people. Some portals are opportunities, some portals are food, some portals are ingested, like I did with the psilocybin. But you keep coming together through different like aspects to make you like a complete person at some point. And you guys are kind of like, I don't know, I feel like you've received, yeah, that's what this is. You've received the last piece that makes you complete. And from this point on, it's really a whole new world, because up until now, you've related and worked with the universe from a place of incompleteness. Like, and that can be manifesting in whatever way, where you feel like you don't know yourself, where you feel like you have a mission but you don't know what it is, or something like that. If that's the case, you're about to receive that missing piece that completes your identity within this dimension. And yeah, I don't know, I'm just getting, you're gonna feel whole. You're not going to feel like you have this void anymore, this empty space inside you that you can't explain. that's going to be filled. So yeah, that's what I have for you guys. Longest reading I've ever done here. If you resonate with the reading, please like, share, and subscribe. And if you want to book a reading, all the information is in the description box.